Yo, boys or girls. Welcome to lesson 4. It's actually regarding pathing options in depth, and this is such a valuable video which is not shared often online at all, and I don't think many people know about these pathings. But I'm just going to give you multiple pathings and the choices that you have, and as well how you can realize you can do these pathings, okay? So, the pathing options start with level 1, okay? Like, it's level 1. Level 1, every single game, you should ask yourself, can you get invaded on top or bot side? Or can you invade or top or bot side? So very often, okay, what you have to recognize is, okay, what does your team composition want to do? I'll just give an example, okay? In this game, we have a tank top against a Yone, for example, and top lane is pretty much chilling and it's a range matchup. I have Ashe Jinx that wants to play aggressive. So I know that I want to play mid slash bot, right? So I ask myself, can I invade level 1? I can definitely invade. So in this game, right, I just warded my entrance on my top side, knowing that I want to late invade. I go for late invade here because I know I win. This forces Maokai to start his top side, and he's basically getting fucked, right? Because I play around my win condition, and basically, well, yeah, it's a split map, which is very good. And in a lot of games, right, enemy Maokai maybe starts here, and you're cheesing them, and they're just gonna die in lower elo especially. This is Challenger, so people in these games are gonna be a bit more careful, but even then, people are still gonna die, okay? To start with level 1, can you invade or can you get invaded? So you might be wondering, what do I do if I get invaded, right? Because that's the next topic. So I pulled up some votes, and this is a perfect example where basically mid can push and bot can push, right? They have Trash Jinx, Elise, so their bot lane can't play aggressive because they're playing against Trash Jinx, Elise. And if mid lane really wants to get a push, I mean, Nico can get it, of course, if he wants to, but it's more like mid lane can follow, right? They can always look for scrap. So in this game, if you get invaded on bot side here, okay? I'll open my epic pen. So you see what Viego's doing? He's doing red buff into blue Grom, because if Elise does 3 camp and invade him, there won't be any camps. However, in solo queue, I do not recommend this pathing. I recommend you guys still do red buff, Raptor, and then you do your, then you do your Gromp. Because you're still gonna get level 3, and worst case, okay, you're gonna lose your blue buff, but at least your Raptor will be respawning and your Gromp will be respawning. In this case, it's not going to be respawning, and it's a slightly worse clear, because buff in the buff is never a good thing, because your camps won't be respawning. And in the case in solo queue, he doesn't invade you, at least you'll have your camp sequence spawning, okay? So you don't want to be full clearing full topside camps into blue buff, because if Elise does 3 camps, invades you, you are going to get fucked, okay? So I'm going to show you guys as an example what you can do. Oh, sorry, I have to continue probably explaining what the pathing options are, right? So, but I'm just gonna explain you guys as well regarding invading a bit, because this is how invading works, okay? So, if you want to invade successfully, the requirements that you need will always be these things. So, as you can see, I'm playing a game, and if you watch the previous video, you'll know as well that level 1 ward is so important. So, I'll just show you guys my POV, okay? So, red side. We put on a ward level 1, and I basically know that in this game, that I have actually no, sorry, I'll be talking about it in the next topic about invading, because it's such a big topic that I can't put 2 videos at the same time. I'll just talk about pathing options, okay? So regarding pathing options, level 1 buddy, I'll just add that, okay? But I'll add other pathing options. Okay, so here's the thing. Regarding pathing options, there's so many things you can do, but the most important thing that I want you guys to learn is that you have to be asking yourself, which laners are getting pushed in. If you know which laners are getting pushed in, those are opportunities, okay? So, if you know which lanes are getting pushed in, okay? Or which lanes are really volatile, you'll know how many camps you'll have to take. So, for example, you'll often see Rek'Sais, right? Take red Raptors into Gromp or something and look for bot lane, right? However, I know that on Rek'Sai, maybe mid lane or mid or top is going to play aggressive, and I'm taking 3 camps top side, and I'm going for top lane gank here. Because I know that top lane is volatile here, and I know that, honestly, if enemy jungle starts top the bot, okay, this would probably not be beneficial, but I think enemy had like Nico, I think. So I was pretty sure that if Nico usually starts bot side, right? So if I do 3 camp top side in top lane, and if Nico starts bot side, and he Pef starts top side, he won't be able to invade my bot side. If he goes, let's say, top the bot, right? What would happen is that if I gank top lane here, he could potentially invade me. So that's something that's in general not so good, but I knew in this game I just like pretty much knew that Nico very likely was gonna go bot lane because it's a Nico, but very often Nico just starts bot side and look for bot gank or path towards top. Like very often, okay? So I kept options open, and I'm level 3 and I'm ganking top lane here, as you can see. And so this is what you should always be questioning yourself. Which lanes can I gank? And if you feel like you can gank every single lane, even though you want to play, let's say, around bot, okay, you should look to take 3 topside camps. If you feel like, let's say, mid and top are like so not volatile, and let's say bot lane is volatile, then you can look to the Raptors, sorry, red buff, Raptors, Grom, and be ASAP bot. But in this game, I'm like, okay, bot lane is not gonna be that volatile, top might be, so I'm just gonna do this pathing just to be ready to punish him, okay? There's like one pathing. So the other pathing that you can do always as well is that on blue side, okay, is that if your bot lane, or let's say if actually that's invaded, okay, I'll just talk about pure gank, okay. So here's well, in this case, it is taking 3 camps, okay. In the case it takes 3 camps, he can at least gank mid and bot. It's the same principle. If you took Raptors red buff, red buff and Raptors, he wants to take his Gromp, he could only look for mid / top lane, right? But in this case, you could look for both, and you could potentially invade the enemy. So you should think about, okay, can I actually gank 3 lanes? If yes, taking 1 quadrant might be not so bad. If you feel like bot lane is so not volatile and I need to rush towards top lane, you need to rush to a lane, then sure, you can take like these 2 camps into Grom and then rush to top or mid, okay? So that's like the second pathing. I'll be writing that down as well. I'll have to note it down now before I forget actually. Pathing 1 is full topside camps into look all lanes. So there's like a second pathing, which is that, I mean, I hope you guys can visualize it, okay? But imagine that my mid lane is a melee champ, okay? I have a Yasuo, and let's say the enemy is like an Ahri, okay? I know that, let's say I will play this game, that Ahri is going to be pushing in my mid laner, right? So let's say I can only play around bot side, and I can't really. So let's basically want to start on bot side, okay? So most pathings, most of the time you're gonna path start top side, right? Let's say bot lane is like a winning bot lane matchup, sure, and you can't invade for some reason, okay? Because your champ's weaker. What you could look to do is take 3 topside camps, knowing your mid lane is gonna get pushed in. Then after those 3 topside camps, you look for mid lane gank. The only counter to this is if they ward river here level 1, but if you just stand here till like, I don't know, 115, usually they haven't warded, and in your elo, I can guarantee you they're not gonna ward, okay? So what you can look to do if you know your mid lane is getting pushed in, you can then look to take these 3 camps and potentially gank mid lane if you have kill threat. So let's say Yasuo Elise, like you have a tornado, you're playing against a mid lane that pushes in, you can gank from here behind, alright? So that's the pathing if you want to look for mid lane gank, if there's kill pressure, and your mid lane is getting pushed in. So there's like another pathing, which is basically the if your bot lane is getting pushed in. Let me see if the video. I mean, 1 second. I'm just gonna go to my in-game screen, and I'll show you guys that video. So this is actually really important pathing. I'll have to search Mr. Kindred. Okay. That is auto pathing. So in a lot of games, okay, I already explained it in my first lesson, but here's the thing, I need to repeat it, is that if you have a bot lane getting pushed in, same principle, have you guys noticed? You want to take your bot side camps, and then very likely their bot lane is going to be pushing in, right? So I'm taking 3 camps and ganking bot, and enemy jungle won't be here if you start stop the bot, right? So what's going to happen is that if they push in, and most laners about it are going to probably always ward either this. If they ward that, you can look to jump behind, even walk behind if you want to. And if they ward the river, and they're, let's say, really deep, then you can still gank, because if they ward like right there, so like right here, and FCC, like if they're here, if the line's like this, right, they're still probably gonna die because you can walk like this, and you can cut off their escape path, right? So this is another path you could be doing as well, and it's very important. But let's say in the case that you feel like you can't do anything right, you can just look to path towards top side as well. But very often I think of which lane's pushing and what pathing can I do to fuck them up. That's basically what I'm thinking, okay? So there's another pathing which I don't do very often, but like let's say in some case that my top lane for some reason can't leash, okay? And I'll probably have to find a better example. Okay, I'll just take this map, okay? This game. So imagine that enemy is on. So let's say you're a red side, okay? Which means that you are LNG. You're LNG, okay? So imagine you're playing a Jarvan or you're playing a Kindred or something, okay? And let's say you have some Nautilus on your support and you have some kill threat, okay? And you know very likely enemy journey is going to start topside. And you want to play around bot. This pathing that I'm going to mention is going to work if you play champs like Jarvan, Kindred, Graves, anything that just has jump, that has CC. It's a very cheeky pathing, but I think it's good, okay? So you can do your blue buff here. After you take blue buff, you ask for a leash as well, okay? Keep in mind, you ask for a leash because you want to be ASAP, as fast as possible. After you get a leash, enemy's like, oh, they leash bot, so you must be pathing top, right? Then you're just gonna jump over the wall here, take the red buff, ward over the raptor, so you'll see him if he does or not, and then you'll just come from behind and gank with your CC support the moment he gets level 2. As you take blue and red buff, very likely with the new patch, your bot lane will be level 2 and you can kill them. This is another cheeky path that you could be doing on the red side. On blue side, it becomes a lot easier because, well, you can ask for a bot lane leash, you can be on the same side and gank bot, right? But on blue side, if you sometimes start top side and path down, enemy jungler can be faster bot side than you. So if you want to be faster bot side, you can be doing this pathing as well. And just knowing that which lanes are going to get pushed in, you can start being creative about, okay, can I actually gank them? Yes or no? So here's the thing, before you gank them though, you'll have to think about if you can counter gank, but I'll be making another video about that. But it's very important you recognize what options you have as a jungler, and if you think about level 1s and level 3s, etc., you can easily punish the enemy team. So I'll just show you guys here a quick example, right? It's not about pathing, I mean, it kind of is, I guess, right? But here, I showed you guys that there's like a ward here, and basically I'm playing a Z. I have pushing mid lane, I have winning jungle matchup, I put a ward down. A lot of junglers are going to do this pathing, okay? Junglers have either two things. They 3-camp into gank, or they are full clearing. If you're playing as a full clear jungler, you can punish them by warding it, taking 3 camps on top side. Here I was really maybe to gank both top laners. But here, as you can see, that guy, sorry, top or mid, I was really, but I saw this guy doing full clear. But because of that, I saw him, right? I decided to invade here, and he kind of smelled me, right? Here, but let's hit in the ward, he would just die. So instead, I just take his red buff here, and he's so fucked, by the way. And you could be thinking about these passing as well, if you have a winning, if you're winning mid lane or bot lane. Because the most important thing is that if you invade here, but I'm just saying, like, that one of your laners you can run to. So let's say they have mid priority, you're getting collapsed, you just run to the side, that's priority. Or just jump over here, but, you know, you get the point. So, think about those things, and I'll show you guys my sticky notes. So, I wrote it down, so there's like multiple things, right? So there's like a lot of information in this video. I will actually write it down for you guys, but basically it's like TLDR. Think about which laner gets pushed in, and you can then know what their pathing will be. So yeah, like hopefully you guys understand a bit more the options that you have. The thing that I didn't mention as well is that, so let's say in a game like this, right? Let's say Elise decides to gank bot lane here, okay? And let's say Viego does top the bot. Like, Elise is not gonna get invaded on the top side. If Viego stops the bot, Elise does bot side camps in the bot lane. Like what's gonna happen is that if Viego goes for top side, you can go to his bot side. But if Viego goes top side, and you take bot side camps and go bot lane, and let's say it doesn't work out, he can then take his bot side camps and then take your top side camps, and then go back to his top side camps. This is the only time you'll fall behind if you're gonna do 3 camp into a gank. So just keep that in mind. That's just super important. But hopefully with that you understand the pathing options, of course, is like as well which lane is volatile, which lane do you want to gank, but that's just usually how I think about ganks basically. So yeah. Make sure to note it was naturally these camps basically. So these are just the options that you have, honestly, that's what I see. But honestly, giving like specific notes for you guys to work on is pretty difficult. I think the most important thing is you just think, well, which lane gets pushed in. Now you also write one. Now you do the leash pathing into. I mean, it's just like there's like so many pathings, right? So you guys get the idea. Losing bots, get a leash, gank them, because enemy's pushing. Your mid lane's getting pushed in. Well, get a leash from somewhere if you can, and then gank mid lane. However, you shouldn't gank if let's say you lose 2v2, right? Let's say enemy join the 3 topside camps, counter against you, you're fucked. Like, just keep those things in mind as well. But this is regarding just basically ganking options. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next video, which is about reading the enemy jungler, which is quite important as well. And then after that comes invading. So anyway, peace.